Are you feeling stuck in a creative rut? Are you feeling limited by your current artistic style and you wish you could do something different? You wish you knew how to do something different? Well, grid journaling, one of my very favorite tools, is a perfect tool to use to broaden your horizons, increase the variety of options that you have in front of you, and just try on new things. We're going to make the most variety in an 18 square grid journal possible while using the same color palette. I will show you how. Come on with me. Let's make it fun. I want to show you how to use a grid journal to explore endless amounts of different compositions, artistic styles, etc. within the same color palette, same grid journal, same everything, a million different possibilities. I'm using a previously started grid, and I'm just going to add some layers. For reference, I do not have a specific list of types of paintings that I want to create here. This is just an exercise in intuitive, abstract approach. I'm just painting what feels good, where it feels good, and using colors that are appealing to me. This is my Titan Green Pale that I love, on top of some fluorescent red, and I don't know what the other color is. I think it's a marker. So it was too long ago, I don't remember, sorry. This is Pyrrole Red. It looks different because my computer has trouble deciphering between the fluorescent red and the Pyrrole Red, so it looks more like a burgundy, but I can assure you it is Fire Engine Red. And my goal for most of the grids that I do is to do something different in every square. Here I have 18 squares, 18 possibilities, 18 options for making different choices. Not all of my choices are insanely different. Sometimes I will use the same corner of a square to focus. Sometimes I'll use a similar shape in a different area of the square. You don't have to redefine all of the things to do this. But this is one of my favorite intuitive art exercises because it will show you the marks that you typically go to. It'll show you the colors you typically go to. It will show you what, if you're looking to see like where you get stuck, it will also show you how you potentially back yourself into a corner 18 times. And hopefully how you can get yourself out of that corner, and another 18 options to do that. I'm adding white now, and this is a thicker white. This is my heavy body golden titanium white. It's much more opaque. Grid journals, like there's nothing better for my money than using a grid journal to try new things. Wasn't sure about this color palette. I thought I would give it a whirl. Kind of winging it here on colors. And we'll all have our different opinions on what we think. Some of the choices I make are very subtle. Some of the choices I make are very bold. And that is intentional, not in the sense that I've planned this out, but it's intentional for me to make different choices. The best use I ever get out of a grid journal is making different choices within each box. That could just be because I like to use grid journals to experiment and try new things. If I was looking to subtly refine one particular type of composition, maybe they would all look very similar and I would make small tweaks on each of them. Again, this method is so flexible and you're able to do whatever you want, and you can get 18 variations of that thing very quickly. This is why I preach the gospel of grid journals. I will tell you that after I did this white, I haven't used this real thick white for a while. I've been using the Nova Color titanium white, which is just more of a soft body paint. I was glazing with transparent red iron oxide, and you can see that it's applying very patchy. It's not a smooth glazing experience. I blame the texture of the paint. Again, it's not like a bad blame. I'll credit the texture of the paint. How's that? Because I'm not used to doing it, so it was very unexpected, and I was not thrilled. But when in Rome, when in the grid, you might as well use it everywhere, so it still can create a cohesive mini teeny collection. And this also is an exercise in how different can your compositions be and your styles be and still have things feel cohesive. My goal for this grid is to have things be very diverse and create lots of variety. So as I'm approaching these things, I'm very intentionally trying to apply the paint in different ways. Sometimes I'm wiping it away with the paper towel to make it more wispy and a little bit transparent, more like a veil. Sometimes I'm just doing full brush strokes and leaving it at that. I'm very intentionally using different colors in different amounts. Sometimes it's just a splash of yellow, sometimes it's lots of yellow. Same thing for every other color. I'm looking for big, bold differences and very subtle differences to test all of the angles. The secret sauce of the grid journal for me is that I now have 18 different opportunities to make something cool. 18. So if one of them doesn't go well, okay, I have 17 other opportunities. It really takes pressure off for me to make something amazing or to make something that's even just not terrible. This environment of small art that is very doable and very completable because it's so small in scale. And the number of opportunities to try things, it really is the magic sauce that allows me to be free and brave and just to try things. I will, behind the scenes, I had a lot of doubts in this phase about this particular grid. I wasn't loving the colors. I wasn't sure about the colors. I wasn't sure about how crazy different these compositions are. You can see on the right page, the upper left corner and the middle, there's kind of like some really subtle, soft, landscapes, sparse landscapes that I really liked. And then below on that right side still, the far left corner is the exact opposite of that. Huge, clunky black patches, a giant red orb scribble. On the left side, same deal. Lots of chunky, clunky bits. And then very subtle transitions in some of the ones on the white. On the right. On the white. I was watching myself with the white paint. And I found myself really disliking the chunky boxes, the chunky designs. Looking at it from afar, having a little bit of separation from when I actually did this, I'm recognizing that it's just versus the other ones that it felt so wrong. So in isolation, the chunky ones maybe aren't my favorite, but they're not as loudly disliked in my mind if I take them on their own. Against those really subtle landscapes that are just so peaceful and kind of dreamy, it looks like a cacophony of sights and sounds. Before I show you all of the finished pieces, if you'd like to try grid journaling and you want a little bit more help, I have a free guide for you. Click the link above or in the description. So one at a time, If you look at these compositions, there's plenty of variety. The color story is very similar. I did bail on a couple as I went, and that's okay. I love this one. The newness and space for experimentation, this is the one I bailed on. I never added many colors to that one. Was so much fun to try, to play, to give me new ideas, and honestly just to give me an excuse to make something. So for today, I've made art. I've created something that was not there earlier. I would encourage you, if you're not sure of your artistic style, if you're looking for more information on abstract art, try a grid journal. Just play, see what happens, see what comes of it. You may discover some new styles that you're very interested in that you didn't even know before you started. What is your favorite way to use a grid journal? Let me know in the comments. One more plug, I'll be doing some in-person workshops this spring in the suburbs of Chicago. Please click the link above if you're interested and give me all your preferences. Let's make it happen.